We really need to get to the subject at hand, and that is the Chamber Hour. We're joined by President and CEO of the Waterbury Chamber of Commerce, Lynn Ward. Good morning, and you've got a great show lined up.
Good morning. Great to be here across from you. You're doing a great job on day 4. Wow. So things are going well. You know, I thought you were going to say the stat of how many people wear watches these days, because I still have a watch on. Al Taylor, my guest today, has a watch on, but so many people don't wear watches because they just use their phones. So I'm curious about that stat. I'll have to look that up.
I can look that up. I don't. The only reason I don't wear a watch is my watch band broke.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, I do. We would be 3 for 3 otherwise.
Yeah. We might be showing our age. But yes. Anyway, it's great to be here every month, the third Thursday of the month. I'm here representing the Waterbury Regional Chamber, the Watertown Oakville Chamber, the Naugatuck Chamber, and the Southbury Chamber of Commerce, and Main Street Waterbury as well. And today we're going to be talking about a program, an event that's coming up under the Main Street Waterbury banner, and that is the Brass City Jazz Fest. And that's going to be a fabulous event on August 5th, which is a Saturday, right downtown Waterbury in Library Park. And this event was really created by the guest who's with me today, Al Taylor. He is president of Act Jams Productions. He is the chairman of the Brass City Jazz Fest. He's really the founder of the Brass City Jazz Fest, and I'm so pleased to have Al and have the opportunity to work with him. And Al, tell us all about Act Jams before we talk more about the Jazz Festival.
Well, let me start by saying thank you, and it's a pleasure to work with you, Lynn, and the Chamber. Hello, everyone out there in WATR land. This is Al Taylor here, and Act Jams Productions is a entertainment company. I've been producing shows for about 20 years now here in the city of Waterbury and outside of the city. For 10 years, we're at the Palace Theater. Used to put up the old school dance parties, and moved into smooth jazz and R&B events, and then contemporary jazz and R&B events. And we had a number of shows, and the Palace was so great to us. And it's nothing like seeing your show or your name on the marquee at the Palace Theater. You know, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It really is, here in your own hometown.
Right.
I would have guest DJs and guest artists and things of that nature, and that really blew them away, was the marquee. I tell you, that marquee out there is something else.
Well, the marquee's beautiful, and of course the building itself, yes, right? You walk in there and you just look around and you're just amazed that you're, not in New York City. You're here in Waterbury, right. And we have such a landmark theater.
We do, with Broadway plays and concerts and things like that, and it's amazing. So, from dance parties to concerts to producing concerts at the Palace. We brought in some top name smooth jazz artists at the Palace Theater over the years, and to wanting to do something here in Waterbury for the folks here, free for the community and the region, and that's where the Brass City Jazz Fest came from. And it was something. It took a lot of time and thought process to how to and where to go and what to do and who to rely on and confide in. And Dr. James Gatling, he's retired now from New Opportunities of Waterbury, was my buddy. He was my partner.
He's my buddy too.
Yes,
Dr. Gatling is a past chairman of our Waterbury Regional Chamber.
Yes.
Somebody who I have great respect for. He's still on my speed dial when I need some advice from a mentor, and he's a fabulous person. And I remember when you and Dr. Gatling came to see me a few years ago before this first started, and I said, I don't know if you recall, Al, I said, you need Main Street Waterbury's help with this.
You did.
And, within a few years, here we are together as Main Street Waterbury is now led by chamber leadership.
Right.
So it's great to have this opportunity. I got to just ask, so your company name is Act Jams.
Mm-hmm.
I know your first name's Al, your last name's Taylor.
Yes.
Is your middle initial C, and
Yes,
is
it
that where
is.
ACT came from?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Those are my three initials there, ACT.
Okay, I
And
wondered
don't ask
about
what the
that.
C stands for.
You don't
because-
want to say. I'll have to
well,
figure
the C
that
is
out.
for cool.
Cool.
C-O-O-L, yeah, cool.
That's really your middle name?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Really? Did you? I think
No, I'm just
I think
kidding.
you named
I'm
that
kidding.
yourself. All right. Well, we won't challenge you on that.
I tell folks that when they ask me, and they look at me, really?
That works. ACT. You know,
but those
Al
are my
Cool
initials.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
So, no, but that's not. But I'm pulling your leg right there. But I use that. I tell people that it's cool.
Well, that's
and then usually
pretty neat.
they forget about it, and that's it. And we move on.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll move on. I know that when the first Brass City Jazz Fest took place, I think was that 2018.
2018 at Library Park, and it was that year we actually opened that year with our headliner that year is back this year, and that's Chris Big Dog Davis. Being a hometown fan and a two-time Grammy-nominated producer, we thought that, Chris was like, I'm here. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Yep.
So we kicked it off with Chris and Mesa and Art Sherrod, saxophonist, and also pianist, world-class musician Alex Bouillon.
Wow.
And Steve Clarke as well as a local group called Says Zion Jazz Band, and oh my goodness, what is? I'll think of the young lady's name in a minute. Oh, gee, I can see her
Well, I know
face.
the following year
Yes.
you asked me, who do you like? And I said, Marion Meadows. And guess what? Marion Meadows
Marion
was
Meadows.
the headliner the following
Absolutely,
year.
Marion
So,
Meadows.
Bud, you could just tell Al who you like,
I just
and then
know
maybe he'll get him next
I want
year.
to sneak in here because there's an amazing coincidence.
Sure.
Guess who's on the phone?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
This feels like Santa Claus or something.
Let's go to the phone. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Chris Big Dog Davis.
Hey, how you doing there? Pleasant surprise here. Good morning. Good morning, Chris.
Yes, good morning. Everything is love.
And Lynn Ward here, the president of the chamber. This
Hi,
is her
Chris.
show. She's
great,
here.
Great to have you call in. We were just talking about the Jazz Festival, and we're so excited to have you be the headliner coming up on August 5th downtown Waterbury.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and it's an honor to go and perform in front of my hometown people. So we're excited.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Big Dog, what do you have in store for us for Saturday, August 5th? What do you have in store?
Now, I have a show. You seen my show? You know what I'm doing.
I know
We're
that,
going
but
to-
they don't
we're
know.
going to rock and roll. Anyone that has been out and seen Gerald Albright or Will Downing or Phil Perry, we put my thing is we put a show together, and I try to tell my audience I'm like a Quincy Jones.
Yes.
I put the show together as most of the artists that I have produced the studio, and then we try to bring it out into an audience so people can see how it's actually done from a studio and how it's done from a live point of view. So, yeah, I have a good show lined up. We got some surprises inside there.
Oh, yeah.
Some artists from Waterbury, Connecticut, and so yeah, we're excited.
Yes. I know. I know how it is, Big Dog, but they don't know. So that's why I asked you the question.
Yeah, well, there it is. That's
There it
what
is.
we're going to do. Yeah.
Well, it's great. We're really honored to have you. I know you were born in Waterbury. Is that correct? Did you go to school here?
Yes. I went to the first kindergarten was Bishop School,
Oh, yeah.
and then I went to y'all may not know that that's 1963.
Wow.
I'm like telling my age, but we went to kindergarten, which was Bishop School, and then I went to I think it was Driggs
Driggs.
up
Okay.
there. I went to Driggs, and then I went to Walsh School.
Okay.
My parents was moving around, and then I graduated from Driggs, and then I went into Wilby High School.
The old
And that's where I
Wilby.
did my high school and graduated out of the old Wilby,
Yeah, the old Wilby.
and graduated out of there. Yep.
Wow. And can you tell us a little bit about your musical background? Did you study music at a college nearby?
Yes, well, I tell the story that it all started at Bishop School. and back then we had music teachers in school, and there was a lady named Miss Baskerville. She taught in all the public schools, piano and music. And so one time she came by, it was kindergarten, and she's like, wow, this guy is pretty good on playing the piano. So she took me underneath her wings, and I studied with her from age 4 till I was like 8 years old. And then Miss Baskerville got a hold of a lady named Miss Grossman. Miss Grossman's also from Waterbury, Connecticut. And she lives up there by Fulton Park.
Yes.
And she was my music teacher from age 8 until I was like 18 years old. For 10 years, she controlled my life, but it was good. But all of this was in Waterbury. Miss Grossman got me into Yale University. There was an after-school program in New Haven that Yale ran. It was for the gifted, talented students. So my mother used to drive me from Willoughby High School to New Haven every Monday and Wednesday after school. And I studied there with a professor named Professor Wesley from Yale. And then he used to take us over to Yale at times. And I was there like 4 years, from age 14 till I was 18. And then Miss Grossman got me into another big jazz artist named Jackie McLean. He was teaching at Hart School of Music, and that was in Hartford. So my mother used to drive me there after I got out of high school. I studied with him like for a year and a half with Jackie McLean. And then I got tired of music, and I went into service, Marine Corps in 1980.
He left.
To do something different. Me and my cousin Robert Shannon, we went in a buddy program. So. So Waterbury has been a big part of
absolutely
me.
Absolutely. And your mom played a huge role.
Oh yeah, well my mother was the choir director at Refuge Church of Christ on 21 East Hawkins Street, where the Pastor Smith, Lester Smith, was the pastor, and my mother was in a group. My father sang, but everybody in Waterbury know about Mary Davis.
Yes, I heard stories.
She's a tough cookie, but with a very, very warm heart.
Yes.
And so, she kept me guided, and I thank God for her, because where I'm at now, I couldn't be without my mother.
Right.
So she kept hands and a belt on me. Okay, both of them.
Sometimes we need that tough love. We need it sometimes.
Yeah, man.
It's necessary.
Like I said, this is the 60s and 70s. Yeah. So it was, but I turned out good. So.
Well, you absolutely turned out fabulous. And I know I follow you on Instagram. You have a great presence on Instagram. So I encourage people to follow you on social media and get to know you a little bit more before August 5th so they can come down and see you. And again, we want to thank you for being our headliner for this year's Brass City Jazz Fest.
Yes, big dog.
Oh, as I wanted to tell you guys, I'm sitting here with one of the surprises, and he is from Waterbury, and we're working out our details, and his name is Mike G.
Mike G.
I know a lot of people from Waterbury heard of Mike G, nice rapper. So I am putting the show together. So we're going to have a bunch of stuff. We got rap, we got jazz. It's going to be jazz, but we put together a show.
A show.
For Waterbury.
Yes, for Waterbury. I know.
They can walk through the stages of my life with me as I present my show. I'm going to go through my church. I'm going to go through my classical, when I was in the Marine Corps, and all this will be inside of the show. So you got to come down there and see this.
Absolutely.
They will. And you'll be on stage around 8 o'clock, probably go right up to the end. So we're not going to tell anyone anything more. We want to leave them in a little bit of suspense. Again, we want to thank you and let you get on with your day.
Thank you, big dog.
Great. Anyway, this is The Chamber Hour on Talk of the Town on WATR. I'm Bud Wilkinson. And when we come back, more info, lots more info. Big Dog had some great memories. Lots more info on Thanksgiving. And unlike Tom Shute, I failed to check the temperature on my cell phone. I blew it. I admit it. This is Talk of the Town on WATR, the Chamber Hour edition. Bud Wilkinson, your host, joined by the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, Lynn Ward, and her guest today, Al Taylor, who is the brains and, dare I say, the brawn behind the upcoming Brass City Jazz Fest.
Absolutely. Al is the brains and brawn behind the Brass City Jazz Fest.
Remember this, though. I can't do it alone.
No, I
Can't
know.
do it alone. So
this really is a team effort.
It is a team effort. It's a joint venture, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
And when we talk about joint venture, we certainly want to give our thanks and appreciation to Mayor O'Leary, the city of Waterbury.
It would have never started without the blessing from the mayor.
Correct. Absolutely. And Main Street Waterbury, which is the organization that is responsible for preserving the historic nature of our downtown buildings. We are also responsible for making sure that when businesses come in, there's a thriving environment for them to be successful. And one of the things that we do is we like to put on events under the Main Street Waterbury banner, I'll say, which is Main Street is a 501c3 charitable organization, and we like to bring people into downtown Waterbury, and we do that in a variety of ways. At Christmas time, we advertise a Christmas stroll. We work with local shops and organizations to provide, some fun times during the holidays. We also promote the Harry Potter Day that another organization actually spearheads, but we get behind that. In the summer, in August, we do the Jazz Festival. In October, on October 7th, we're going to have the Brass City, the Brew and Q, which has also been known as the Brew Fest from years ago. It's been rebranded a couple of years ago as Brew and Q, so that's another big event that we're working on. We also put up the banners that you see downtown Waterbury, sponsored by a lot of the businesses that are around. Right. Next week, there will be a supplement that comes out in the Republican American called Celebrating Downtown. That, too, is an effort of Main Street Waterbury. So Main Street's kind of behind the scenes on some things, and I always like to let people know about all of the efforts of the organization.
Absolutely. It's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more to come, but there's a lot going on, and Main Street needs to be really commended for the efforts.
And the city does invest in Main Street Waterbury, as most cities that have Main Street organizations. They're funded in part by the city, and then we have to raise money to do everything we do. And the contribution that the city of Waterbury provides Main Street to put on the Brass City Jazz Fest is matched by the business community, and we certainly could not do this without the sponsorship of so many companies. Companies like our lead sponsor, Power Station Events, Al Vagnini and his team over at Power Station really make this day happen, along with Al Taylor, who's going to be on stage with all these fabulous artists. The Republican American, want to give a shout out to them because the newspaper is very supportive of our event, and the chairwoman of Main Street Waterbury is Susan Sprano, who is the advertising director of the Republican American. And then there's so many more. We Do Life Together is another organization that's one of our top funders, and Chet Doheny has a great organization where they help care for special needs people, and they are investing in the Jazz Fest.
Yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about the schedule, and I believe one of the artists is also on the phone, right?
I was going to say, guess what? We have another guest. Guest? This wasn't planned, right?
Oh, gee.
Let's go right to the phone.
We have another guest on the phone. Who is this?
It's Rebecca Jade. Good morning, everyone.
Oh, good morning, Rebecca. How you doing?
I'm well. Thank you so much.
How is it out there in sunny San Diego?
It's sunny.
Weather's pleasant. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you bring that sun and that nice weather here to Waterbury with you. on August 5th.
I will do my best. I will do my best. Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
this is Rebecca Jade. She's a vocalist and she's a Billboard charting artist, and she is fresh off of the Dave Koz cruise 2 months ago, maybe about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 2 months ago, and last week she was in Philadelphia, and she didn't tell me she was in the area with Sheila E. I spoke to. I didn't like that one, but that's okay. Rebecca Jade, everyone. Rebecca Jade. Rebecca, tell us about your career and how you've come to where you are today, briefly.
Well, yeah, just I come from a musical family, so that helps. That it was kind of instilled in me at a very young age, and I decided after college that I really wanted to do music for a living. So I've worked. I'm so grateful to say I've been able to do music for over 20 years,
Wow.
15 years professionally. 20 years professionally, 15 years full time. And I'm just so grateful. And in the last few years, I've been able to really come into my own as an artist,
Yes.
and kind of learning that part of the craft. And so I did my first album, as you know, A Shade of Jade, which is the first. I have 4 other albums, but this is the first album that I wrote all the lyrics for. It was just really important for me to kind of figure out my voice as an artist, not just a professional singer. So I've been delving into that more now these last few years, and I'm so grateful. And that's one of the reasons I'm able to come out there to Waterbury now, and share my own original music. So I'm very grateful.
It's a very impressive album as well. A Shade of Jade. It's really,
Yes.
You guys out there, pick that up. Please go to your favorite streaming sites or downloading sites, and you'll be able to get that off the digital platform. A Shade of Jade. And Rebecca, you're gonna, when you're here, Steve Clarke is our musical director for the Brass City Jazz Fest, and you and Ray Fuller and Curtis Haywood will be performing with that Brass City Jazz Fest band that Steve put together.
Yeah.
I know Steve is ready. He has your music, and he said that he's so excited and can't wait to perform with you. So you have everyone here excited as well, just like you're excited. We're on the flip side. We can't wait. Can't wait.
It's going to make for a really wonderful, wonderful weekend of music. I can't wait. And I've also never been to Waterbury, Connecticut, so I'm excited to also explore your beautiful city. So that's
First
gonna
time.
be amazing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
First time here, and we can't wait for you because you've been in the state of Connecticut, haven't you? Have you performed in Connecticut yet? That's a good question, huh?
That's a good question.
Could be possibly another first, huh?
I think it's a first.
See that?
Wow. Well,
Lynn, you see
we
that,
need to
Lynn?
market that.
We got to market that. First time ever in CT.
First time. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think I've been. I haven't been far. Like in Philly, and my family's from New York. But
Are they coming?
I don't think,
Is your family coming up to Connecticut?
Yeah, I think I have a family member is coming to that. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Well, we'll be sure to give them a front row seat.
Yeah, we'll make sure you let me know who they are, okay?
I will.
So that we can hook them up and make sure that the love is there extended to them as well.
Appreciate that so
right.
much. Appreciate that.
And Rebecca, we're so happy to have you and to kick us off right at 2:30. So
Yes.
you're gonna lead the Jazz Fest, and
great.
just want to thank you again. I look forward to meeting you in person, and certainly your family member as well.
Oh, thank you very much. I cannot wait. We're going to have a wonderful time and just share. As we all know, music brings people together. And
Yes, it
it's
does.
just so true.
Yes,
It's
it
so
does.
true. So it's a good excuse for people to just share space and share energy and just beautiful, and I always love to say that people, us artists, I love what I get to do, but it's the art form that is very much, it's a give and take, and so
Yes.
I don't think we get to do what we can without the audience and the listeners and the supporters. So
Right.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate the folks that come out and support us. So
We
thank
appreciate you. Thank you, Lady Jade. Thank you. We'll see you on August 4th, actually, when you come into town, okay?
Yes, indeed. Can't wait.
Have a great day, and thank you for joining us here at WATR.
My pleasure. Have a beautiful day, y'all.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Great.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to talk about here. I know we have a full schedule for Saturday, August 5th. I know Al just mentioned August 4th, and we are going to be having a meet and greet with the artists and the sponsors. And certainly, as I was mentioning, we can't do it without all the sponsors. So we look forward to seeing the general public at Library Park on Saturday, August 5th.
And we're going to be talking more about this in just a minute. This is Talk of the Town, the Chamber Hour on WATR, FM 97.7, AM 1320. I'm Bud Wilkinson, and it's Talk of the Town on WATR. We're here kind of messing around in the studio, so my fault. Anyway, I'm Bud Wilkinson. This is the Chamber Hour on Talk of the Town with Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Lynn Ward and her guest Al Taylor, the major domo behind the upcoming Brass City Jazz Fest. And I have a couple questions, if I might. One, I assume, you talked about all the wonderful sponsors. I'm sure you have a lot of volunteers.
Well, yes, we do. We have enough. Volunteers are very important for any event like this because they're critical. If you don't have volunteers, you really can't put on a big show like this because they're doing it because of the love. They want to be a part of it. They want to feel a part of something and do something positive. And we just can't thank them enough for jumping on board and wanting to be a part of the festival.
And my other question involves the crazy weather we've had this summer.
Yes.
I mean, we've had a lot of rain. We've had some really hot and muggy days. As an organizer, as a promoter, how do you take this into account? What planning do you do? What contingencies are there?
Well, this is a rain or shine event. So I've been to Jazz Fest where it rained or it rained a little bit and you put a poncho on and you take it off or have an umbrella and, you catch during the summer months, usually the storms move through quickly, normally, if they do come. And, it's just one of those things. It's rain or shine. It was unfortunate that Hartford the other day had to cancel on Sunday because of flooding issues, and that was all over the state. So we understood that. So what they tried to do, I believe Charles said that they're going to take that lineup maybe and bring them back for next year. Because they had 4 days. So that was 3 days were great, and one day they lost. So we pray that the good Lord blesses us with a great day, with no rain. That's all. Sunny, hot. That's fine. As long as it doesn't rain, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know WATR has a listener base, shall we say, in Waterbury, but we get out and get to other places. Some people might be coming to Waterbury for the first time for the Brass City Jazz Fest. What can you tell me about the venue itself?
Well, the park is right downtown on Grand Street. It's Library Park, right behind the Silas Bronson Library. Parking is free. That's a big one here in Waterbury, and all the municipal parking ramps and the streets. There's no ticketed. There's no parking meters working on Saturday here. So,
they're working. You just don't have to pay.
You don't have to pay on Saturday. Right.
Yes. So free parking.
Free parking, and the parking ramps are open. The municipal parking ramps on Field Street.
Yes.
Field Street and
correct. And it could be just a full day experience. We've been talking a lot about the music part of the day. There's also going to be food trucks there. So right in the parking lot on the side of City Hall, between City Hall and the library. Yes. We're going to have, I think, 5 different food trucks, including ice cream. We're going to have some different business vendors. Some arts and crafters are going to be there, in addition to the music. So we kick off at 2 o'clock. Right. Chris Big Dog Davis will probably end his session close to 10 p.m. or so.
Yeah.
So it's a full day. We've got a full lineup. Why don't we talk a little bit about the schedule? Because we just talked to Rebecca Jade.
Yes.
She called in from San Diego, California. She's going to be on stage at 2:30.
She's going to be on at 2:30, and then at 3:30 we plan on Curtis Haywood, saxophonist out of Long Island, New York. He will be here. He's been around for a while, just doing great things. 4:30 we're going to have Ray the Weeper Fuller. He's a guitarist, and Ray was the musical director for Anita Baker, Whitney Houston.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are some big names.
Natalie Cole.
Wow.
Tina Marie, and I can go down the list. And he's played with a host of artists and recorded with a bunch of artists over the years. And one of his biggest influences was George Duke.
Wow.
So he's going to bring that George Duke-esque style with him here. And also, we have a special guest who's going to perform with Ray, and they are a Waterbury native, and her name is Andréa Deyo.
Wow.
She's a detective here in Waterbury Police Department, and she can sing.
I look forward to seeing her on stage.
Oh, yeah, Andréa. She's a sweetheart. Also, around 6 o'clock, the Gerald Veasley Band will be performing, and Gerald is out of Philadelphia. He's a world-renowned bassist who's been performing with groups like Special Effects, and he was with Grover Washington Jr. for years, performed, and Grover was one of the greatest saxophone players ever to this, ever. And Gerald will be here, and he will feature Clarke, who is a featured saxophonist who's going to perform with Gerald Veasley and Chris Big Dog Davis. Clarke has songs. If you are a Sirius XM fan or listen to Watercolors, you've heard Clarke, you've heard Big Dog, you've heard Gerald Veasley, you've heard Ray the Weeper Fuller, you've heard Rebecca Jade, you've heard all of these artists. And Carl has currently a song called Breaking Away that's playing is heavy rotation right now. And Big Dog's song called Are You Serious is in heavy rotation on all contemporary jazz stations. And he features Clarke on that song, so they're going to perform that as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We have there's some nice presentations that are going to take place here on August 5th. So make sure that you guys join us. Grab your chair and come on out with us and have a great time. Food vendors, crafters. Hopefully the weather is beautiful. We pray for that. Please keep your fingers crossed along with us. We'll join in together in prayer if we need to. Yes, sir.
Now you have coast to coast talent. It's fair to say.
Absolutely.
How far in advance do you have to start planning for this? This isn't something that happens overnight.
Well, I do. This is something that I do. Okay, it's just it's hard to explain it, but this is what I do.
That's a good answer.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
And most folks in the industry know that. And I don't get a big head or anything like that with it, but I'm a modest guy. Mm-hmm. You know, I stay grounded, and I thank God for it.
And all this information you could find on BrassCityJazzFest.com.
Yes.
So go to the website. You'll see all the names that Al has been mentioning and we've been talking to. And I think we're going to have another caller now join us.
We got another guest coming.
Yeah, let's go to the phone right now. Hello, you're on WATR.
Good morning. This is Gerald Veasley.
Hey, Gerald, how you doing there?
I'm doing great. It's good to hear your voice. I'm so excited about Brass City, and I can't wait to be a part of this wonderful festival.
Gerald, on the line also is Lynn Ward, President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce.
Hi, Gerald.
So nice to meet you, Lynn. What a pleasure. What an honor.
Nice to meet you.
And Bud Wilkins is our host in here running the show. He's at the helm.
All right, Bud.
I'm just the navigator, that's all.
Well, we need strong navigation. So thank you all, and thank you for what you're doing to promote this festival, which benefits the community. You know, I appreciate what Al has done in creating this festival, especially in a time where I think people really need an outlet to be able to express themselves, enjoy music, and the fact that this is a free festival, I think, is a godsend.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Gerald. We appreciate you wanting to be a part of this festival as well. And I can't wait till you put your display of musicianship on, because most of the folks here have never seen this, but I know it's just, it's a magnificent, it's going to be a musical, you're going to take them on a musical journey. And I know, and you're a great hostess, and you're great on the microphone. You're a great personality. You guys are gonna witness this. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Gerald. I'm gonna.
No, thank you for those kind words. I mean, I love communicating with an audience. I love uplifting an audience and entertaining them, and getting them moving and helping them at least for a few minutes, forgetting the problems that they may have, and just enjoying the power of music. And I have an awesome band of musicians, including. It's going to feature Clarke, who's been a saxophonist in my band for a number of years, but who is a recording artist in his own right, so he's phenomenal, and it's just going to be really exciting.
Yes. Hey, Gerald, I also mentioned that you played with Grover for years. Can you highlight some of the highlights of those experience times, when you're on stage together with Grover? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, Grover was someone who was extremely passionate when he played, and he always played like it was going to be his last time. He gave everything. We talk about on the athletic field how there are certain people that do that. There are musicians who do that as well. They just pour out their hearts and souls on the stage and leave nothing behind. And he was that kind of person. He brought it every time. I never saw him just go through the motions. Gave 100%. And those of us who were around him had no choice but to rise up to that level as well. Yes. And he was also someone who was very generous in giving back to young people.
Yes.
And I'll tell you a quick story. He would typically mentor young saxophonists from afar. And when I say young, I mean, 15, 16, 14 years old. And it was not uncommon to have one of those artists when we pull into town, one of those emerging young people, sit in on a song like Mr. Magic. And I could always picture this young man or young woman standing on the side of the stage with their best outfit and their best haircut, looking, a little bit nervous and fingering the keys. And then Grover introduces him or her, and they come out, and they're kind of a little bit slouched, a little bit shy. And then they start playing tentatively. And then Grover would turn to them and like, come on, play, you can do it. And they would play, and, the audience, because, they're young and they're cute, and the audience would applaud politely. And then Grover would start playing. But he would play as though he was standing next to John Coltrane. He would play like really hard, almost like if you were playing a pickup game with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan wouldn't care that you can't really play ball that well. But you know what it would do? It would show these young people the standard, and then he would turn to them to play again.
Right.
And they would always go to another level, because he didn't go down to their level. He would make them rise up. And then what would happen is when they're finished and the audience is going nuts, you can see that little kid or a young person would be walking off the stage a little bit taller, a little bit more confident. So he was a generous person. But he never held back in any situation.
I'd like to jump in here and ask a question quickly. We live in a very competitive society. No matter what we do, we're always trying to outdo the next person. That's true in sports especially, I think. But in the music business, you talk about mentoring. Is that more common in music, where everybody shares the same passion, the same direction, and wants to go in the same direction and wants everybody to succeed? Is that the case?
I don't want to speak in broad terms, but I know I've had great experiences with musicians who are really willing to share opportunities, share information, encourage one another. And especially in jazz, where we certainly have superstars who do very well in the way that we imagine, the way that we measure doing well, which is by income, right?
Right.
But
Absolutely.
Then there's a whole other strata of artists who don't make a lot of money, but yet the currency is the encouragement often that they receive from their peers,
That's right.
from audiences, right?
That's right.
So there is that, what you pointed out, that there is that generous spirit. And there's still some competitiveness, but it's more of like, how can I be better today than I was last week?
All right.
And then seeing what someone else can do, and you say, wow, that really touches me. How can I get more of that? So yeah, but it's a great question. So thank you for asking that.
Thank you.
We look forward to having you here in Waterbury. I know you're coming in, or I hope you're coming in on Friday, August 4th. You'll be on stage at 6 p.m. on Saturday. So our listeners have been hearing from Gerald Veasley, and we're so thrilled to have you come. And I look forward to personally meeting you, and want to thank you for your time today and calling in.
Well, thank you for the work that you're doing. For this festival and for this community. I'm honored to be a part of the festival. I can't wait to meet you and see you all.
Thank you, Gerald.
Thank you, Gerald.
Have a great day.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So in our last couple of minutes, I just want to remind everyone, this free concert is Saturday, August 5th, Library Park, downtown Waterbury. It's the Brass City Jazz Fest. You can go to brasscityjazzfest.com. If you would like to be a vendor at the event, you can go on brasscityjazzfest.com. There's still time. You could participate as a vendor, and we hope to see you all there. And again, thank you to all the sponsors, to the City of Waterbury, to Al Taylor, to Helen Taylor. You know, Al's wife, Helen, behind the scenes is doing a lot. She maintains our website, does some of the marketing for us, and recruits volunteers. So big shout out to Helen, and thank her and Dr. Gatling and so many people that have helped this happen.
You know, I think we goofed this hour.
What happened?
How?
We didn't hit the free concert aspect the entire hour really hard.
I thought we did, but it
we
is
did it, but
free.
it's
Absolutely.
free.
It's free. So just come down.
Maybe my ears need cleaning out. That could be the case. But I was thinking, you just said free, and my ears perked up.
It
as well.
is
This
free.
is a major Billboard charting artist performing on a major scale stage here at Library Park, coming from all over the country, and with all kind of accolades behind them as well with their music. So this is big.
And the date again is August 5th from 2:15 into probably 10 o'clock at night.
10
Yeah, we're
o'clock
going to
at
wrap it
night.
up.
Come on down. There'll be food. There'll be beverages, and we'll be on the Power Station stage.
Yes.
So thank you.
Lot of
Great
love.
show.